No, Becky, I can't keep going because I can't see. I can't feel my face.
I hope no one else is doing a bit, but I'm doing a bit.
Daddy's got a pod.
I'm Casey Kasem, and this one's for the perverts.
Join us in our strange ritual.
That is time-traveling love smut.
I can only say horny in one season opener.
A medium amount of fun and an extra large amount of sweaty.
From the minds that brought you Giraffe and Amerisaur.
No regrets, no masters.
I got dick jokes to make, man. Leave me alone.
This is good. This is good for anyone.
This one's going to be weird. I'm very interested to see where this goes. Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how the MCU pumping the brakes in 2024 has given me time to get current on all my reality TV competition shows, and I am thriving.
Very happy for you.
The brakes the MCU should have pumped in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Well, you know, brakes work better when you're already off the road. That's what I hear.
Got him.
So, speaking of reality TV competition shows, it's been a hot minute since we spoofed one of those. In fact, the reality TV wing of the DT! Exec Suite has been quiet for over a year. They last summoned forth our begotten creations in episode 120, His Eyes, They Shooty, where they asked us to reboot reality shows with comic book characters. Today, they've asked us to do something a little different. Reality TV, yes, but it's time we set our remaking sights on something a little bigger. It's time we aim at the kings of reality TV. One of the big three.
My Hero Academia?
No, not that big three.
Kendrick Lamar?
No, not one of those big threes.
That's not it.
Todd, do you have one?
You're supposed to say not Metallica. That's what you're supposed to say.
I don't know if I get that
Who are the other two in that big three,
reference.
Anthrax and Megadeth, the big three of thrash metal. That's a really big thing. That's not just a me thing. I swear to God.
I think that's real.
Quick editor's note. I should have said big four. Sorry, Slayer.
Feels like it. Wait, real quick. Straw poll. Andrew and Kyle, and of course me. Do you think that's an everything thing or just a Matt thing?
I've heard Matt say it before, so I can't.
I don't doubt it's a thing. One of those doesn't feel like the others, and it's Anthrax. Anthrax doesn't feel on par with the other two, but I'm not a thrash metal guy, so.
What about Great Britain, the United States, and the Soviet Union? That's a big three.
It's a pretty big three.
World War II. That was when I Googled the big three. That was the first thing that came up.
Well, these days it's a duo. One of those doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, the execs here at DT HQ
I snorfed.
have requested that we pitch them the next video game themed season of The Amazing Race.
Fuck yeah.
Now, in case you've been living a life free of pop culture brain rot for the past 23 years, The Amazing Race is a long-running competition show in which teams of usually two travel across the globe, competing in challenges and burning out manual vehicles, all in the hope of winning $1 million pre-tax.
That the episode that you had us watch, she does the most unimaginable damage to that stick shift.
Yeah.
That was when I was hooked. When she destroyed that clutch, I was like, yep, this is the best television has ever been.
I do think it's worth noting just right now for a brief second that none of the three of us had ever seen The Amazing Race before, and Matt all turned us on to the same episode, and we all watched it in the last couple of days, and all three of us, I think, had the same takeaway. We're like, hey guys, like, is The Amazing Race just really good? And the answer is objectively yes.
Yeah.
Well, I also realized that, here we're joking about stick shift. Do any of you three drive
Absolutely
stick
not.
shift?
I don't drive
I would
a
be
stick
the same
shift.
way.
I can drive a stick shift.
Same as Kyle.
No, see.
Not even like with a gun to my head. Like I will stall out at my first stop sign and then I will be fine. I can.
Because I'm similar in where Andrew's at, that if I was doing an Amazing Race style race and they're like, here's a car, it's stick shift, I'd be like, well, I'm out.
Yeah.
Do I push the car? Do I need the car?
Top two reasons I can never be on The Amazing Race. I can't read a map. I can't drive stick shift. I'm out. This is not the show for me.
Andrew, I can do both those things. We would be the perfect Amazing Race pair.
All right, let's do it.
How far away are we from all four of us?
What do you bring to the table? Well,
okay. Anyway. We will talk at length in the post show about the CBS reality shows because I have a lot to say about them. Also, if anybody wants to throw $60 at our Patreon and order a CBS Big 3 flavor text, boy, would I be rock hard over that idea. But back to what we're doing today with the 40th season of Amazing Race coming up. The team is looking to attract some new viewers, and to do that, they're looking to chart a course through a video game world. Here to pitch their video game world as the next Amazing Race scenic backdrops are DT! HQ's own travel agents, Andrew, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life, Henderson. Kyle, it was like a caravan of idiots, Harper, and Todd, such a nice pheromone smell to you. Just makes me want to stay close to you, Thomas.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, no, it's. I would like to hark back to a couple weeks ago. I'd rather be Dung Lord again, or Lord of Dung, or whatever Andrew named me.
The Dung Eater,
the Dung Eater, the despicable Dung Eater, or was it just the Dung Eater?
No, it was the something Dung Eater.
Yeah, I don't want this.
So these are all episode titles of episodes of The Amazing Race. 15, episode 7, season 14, episode 4, season 4, episode 11. I don't know any of those episodes. Like, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. I just looked at a list of Amazing Race titles.
These aren't significant episodes to Matt Cole. These are just good titles.
Yeah, these are just really great titles. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
The other good thing you learn about Amazing Race after you watch it for a while is that all of the titles are word-for-word quotes that one of the contestants says in the episode. So all of these things were said on national TV by real human mouths.
So the episode that we watched was a watermelon just hit me in my fucking face. Ow.
I'm concussed. No, I can't run anymore. I can't feel my face. This is a really big issue.
No, Becky, I can't keep going because I can't see. I can't feel my face.
Claire, you got this.
Oh man, for anybody who wants to be on the same page as everybody else, pause this podcast right now and go watch season 17, episode 1 of The Amazing Race. It's on Netflix.
Or just look up The Amazing Race Watermelon Slingshot.
And make sure you get Slingshot in there, because I learned while researching for this, there are actually 2, quote, watermelon incidents in Amazing Race history. So Amazing Race Watermelon won't get you there.
It's not specific enough.
Or Watermelon Ballista, I think is what it's officially called.
So anyway, let's get back to the task at hand. Now, travel agents, we don't need you to plan the whole trip out at this stage, but we do need a sampling of some specific cities and towns where we can host a leg of the race. Give us an overview of your video game world and at least 3 locations where we can host the leg. Andrew, we'll start with you.
Ahoy, you scurvy sea dogs! It's time to batten down the hatches and set sail for Crocodile Isle, home of the scalawag, yellow-bellied Kremlings from Donkey Kong Country 2. That's all. I'm not going to do a bunch of pirate talk. That's honestly exhausting. But yeah, we're talking about one of my favorite games, DKC2. Y'all play DKC2?
Yeah.
Yeah, no?
It's actually the one I didn't own.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
I owned 1, and then by the time I got around to getting 2, 3 was already coming.
I'm pretty sure I played this game at the Eagle's Nest.
Sure.
2 is supposed to be the best. The best
was
one.
really good.
I think it is universally deemed as the best of the Country series. So the story of Donkey Kong Country 2 is
the Country Saga.
The Country Saga, the Country Trilogy.
The Countrylogy.
Nope.
That's
not
that's
that
a
one.
different thing. That's a different thing. So after the first one, after beating K. Rool, K. Rool from Smash Bros., Donkey Kong goes and retires on the beach and is just hanging out on the beach. And Cranky Kong is doing the youth these days, why don't you go get a job, you freeloading son of a gun? And Donkey Kong's like, I saved the world. Buzz off, old geezer. And K. Rool and his cronies just show up and just take Donkey Kong. It doesn't really say how. The instruction manual just was like, one day he was laying at the beach, the next day he was in a cage. So that's the whole story of DKC2. So Diddy Kong arrives and says, I'm going to go save my best buddy Donkey Kong /dad/uncle/brother cousin. Unclear.
If you're watching the McElroys play this, the family tree has gotten out of hand.
It's a little confusing. And then this has introduced us to Dixie Kong, who the McElroys would describe as Diddy's wife/sister/also cousin. Unclear. Maybe all three? Who knows? We've talked about the Kong family tree before. It's very confusing.
The only thing more convoluted is the Summers family tree in X-Men.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. That's very right. So Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong left their home of DK Isle, which is an island shaped in the head of Donkey Kong, to head toward Crocodile Isle, which is, of course, an island shaped with the head of many crocodiles, not just one. Many crocodiles around a very menacing volcano. And they also K. Rool and his crew are all pirates in this one. They're pirates. Don't ask questions. They're pirates.
I miss when we didn't need an explanation for why things were the way they were in video games.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah,
it's great.
It's all very piratey, but I mean, the Donkey Kong Country 3, K. Rool was a mad scientist, and they never really went all in on mad scientists.
They super didn't
vibes all the time,
which is why 2 is the best one.
Which is why 2 is the best one.
They stayed true to the source material.
Yeah, there's a little bit of the mad scientist thing in, but in the thing in 3, they did a Mega Man 6 where they're like, it's not K. Rool this time, it's like K. Roolenstein, but it's but it was a robot that he created. But spoilers, that's the big ending, is that it was K. Rool the whole time, just like it's always Dr. Wily, it's always K. Rool. Anyway, DK2 is a great game. Crocodile Isle is made up of 6 major areas, all of which are completely hostile and not at all welcoming or conducive for any level of tourism. Starting from the one solitary dock at the bottom of the base of the whole island, teams will have to race through the hordes of peg-legged crocodiles and overgrown beetles swarming the massive Gangplank Galleon. Then cross several rivers of magma pouring from an active volcano, and swing through a network of vines through a haunted forest full of ghosts dressed like a homeless guy that you'd only see in cartoons, to therefore make it to the top of Captain K. Rool's castle.
All right. So the 3 locations were the Galleon,
Gangplank Galleon,
Castle.
Gangplank Galleon. I mean, I'm playing a little fast and loose with this.
Okay.
Gangplank Galleon's the first major area, and then the Magma Cove. I forget what it's called because I don't have the map up.
Okay, that's fine.
Level 2, World 2.
That's fine. You get a pass.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of mixing World 3 and World 6 or level 5 and 3 together, which it's kind of a swamp, kind of a haunted forest,
Is Gangplank Galleon from 2? I thought it was from 1.
That's the first level, the first world in 2, yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
All right, good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it.
I like
you
that.
Get it.
I get it. I do. I get it.
Thanks.
I like it. I think that this is really good. You painted a great picture for us with the multiple crocodile heads. Yeah, I'm into it. All right, Kyle, where do you believe that we should host the next, or I guess 4 seasons from now, if we're doing the 40th season of Amazing Race?
Yeah, Matt. So we are here in Pallet Town. Our contestants are arriving on their Laprases as we speak.
What?
That's right, guys. I'm doing Pokemon. Big shock to everybody.
Whoa.
It's Pokemon. Specifically, Matt, our contestants, I think, for season 40 should explore the continent of Kanto and Johto in Pokemon. As I hinted, we are going to start out in Pallet Town, and we're gonna follow the path that's going to take our contestants through Viridian Forest, Mount Moon, Rock Tunnel, where they will stop in Saffron City to catch a train over to Johto, where they will do some more legs of the trip before eventually ending at Indigo Plateau, where they will compete in the final challenge.
All right. I really like that, and I like how clear and succinct it was, and I didn't need to know that everybody was a pirate. That's cool.
But that did add color and fun flair.
That is true.
Kyle had his people show up on Laprases.
That is true. Very unpirate-like of them.
But that just fits the theme. Whatever they ride in on doesn't really matter. It changes every season. Kyle, just so I feel like I got a little bit about what the climate and the weather of Andrew's locations are like. Can you give me a little bit what's the environment of Kanto and Johto like?
Yeah,
nice. Matt. It's nice.
It's nice. Kanto and Johto are kind of wrapped around a mountain region Mount Silver lies between the two parts of the continent. So it is a mountainous terrain, but it also it's on a peninsula. So it's got some wonderful beaches, some great cities that they can visit, and even some islands that they will be stopping in.
Right on. Yeah, okay, I get it. I think that we have something really clear and straightforward, definitely akin to other seasons of The Amazing Race that we've done. Very excited about that option. All right, Todd, bring us home. Give me your option for where we should host The Amazing Race.
Yeah. People think that amazing, entertaining, and sometimes educational travel experiences were just pioneered by The Amazing Race, but that's not true. The Venn diagram between travel and entertainment actually perfected itself in 1993 with the edutainment classic Mario is Missing, because we're going to talk about Mario is Missing today.
No.
Listen, if you came looking for a game setting that forces participants to go to various locations and do silly tasks, then I've got some fantastic news for you. Mario is Missing is a game that came out on MS-DOS, NES, and Super NES. A wild thing the more you think about it. And yes, before you ask, it does reuse Super Mario World assets to give you the best, almost 2.5D experience. And here's the answer to your question. We are going to transport our contestants to exotic locales like Cairo, Egypt, Beijing, China, and San Francisco.
So, like The Amazing Race.
Like The Amazing Race.
Like The Amazing Race.
But, like, you couldn't get to all of those in one season. It's impossible.
No,
and
that's
here's
not,
pretty
that's
sure
literally
that's
exactly
no,
how
it's
literally the show.
We're excited.
Yeah.
And listen, if you're lucky and you make it to the final legs of this, maybe we can even visit Antarctica, where Bowser canonically has a castle thanks to the lore in this game. So that's what I'm bringing you today, Matt. We're going to go to the most exotic locales impossibly far away thanks to our network of underground sewer pipes, a thing that no one else's game here can do.
Okay, so just to be clear, real quick, just making sure that I get it.
Yeah.
We asked you to pitch us a video game world in which to do The Amazing Race, and your answer was the world in which we live right now.
Well, I mean, if it's the world in which we live, if you also have access to an infinite number of pipes that can take you everywhere while you're looking for your Italian/Brooklyn twin brother.
So you're saying...
What?
Wait, hold on.
What?
Yeah.
You're saying that the only thing that makes Mario's like world a world is the pipe system, yeah?
And it's still under a monarchy, I think, are the two.
Those are the two distinct differences.
Well, hold on. Wait.
I wasn't going to touch on the second part, but
Wait, no. Stop. No.
I think we're good here.
It's in our world. It's not a monarchy. We don't live in a monarchy.
But
Well, we don't.
Mushroom Kingdom?
Yeah,
Princess
more or less.
Peach?
Yeah, but if Bowser's Castle's in Antarctica, canonically...
Also, Todd said Beijing, which I'm pretty sure is technically a monarchy. So
It is
And
not a monarchy.
King Babam
There's a prime
rules
minister.
a land in which we do not know where his allegiances
I mean, the
stand.
UK
We've been
is
through
a
this.
monarchy.
Yeah, the UK is a monarchy.
and there's a prime minister. That's what I'm
There
saying.
are monarchies in other like African countries, but
Yeah, so
a
so we're all
prime
saying the
minister is
same
not
thing.
a king.
We're all saying
Matt,
the same
actually,
thing, that I
no,
brought
shut
a
up, Todd.
fantastical
Todd,
video
shut
game
up for a
world.
second. No, Matt, can you just clarify that you understand that a prime minister is not a king?
Yes, that
Okay.
I get. Yes, I do understand.
It's like
that
a
prime
city
minister-
planner.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a city planner. You got it.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So we've got Andrew's thing.
Three
which
magical
is
worlds.
The Amazing Race in a magical
Three
video
magical
game world.
worlds.
We've got Kyle's thing, which is The Amazing Race in a magical world that's like pretty similar and safe.
Which,
like
let's be
ours.
honest, to be fair, is just two different regions of Japan.
I'm not gonna let Andrew bully Kyle and I's good ideas.
Don't turn the map of Japan sideways and hold it up to the map of Johto and Kanto by any means.
Mount Silver is definitely not like that has a real world equivalent or anything like that. It's
No.
totally fine. Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions.
Look, Kyle's thing at least took the extra step of calling them something different. Todd just said real ass town names.
And they all
That's
wrote in
true.
on Laprases, not boats,
True.
Matt. That's a big difference.
Ride
also
via
true.
warp pipes because Bowser stole your brother.
Let's move on to the next part of our planning here. Of course, it's not a leg of the Oh, sorry. I just got word that we actually can't continue to use the same title, so we're going to have to switch it up. So the awesome journey. It's not a leg of the awesome journey without a detour. Please.
That's what the Covenant was going for in Halo.
One of the locations you mentioned above and describe the 2 fork in the road challenges teams must choose between. Describe what each challenge entails and make sure to tell us why these challenges are culturally significant and representative of your chosen location. Also, we need to start working on the script for Phil. So which of these detour choices is the better option for the teams?
I'll start. I'm going to go through. I've got some directorial notes here, and I've got a little bit of a script for Phil. So I'm just going to read this in Phil's voice. We fade up from commercial break. Camera pans down from a sky view of a dimly lit amusement park in the dark of night. Contestants, great job. Here's a question. Does Phil have an accent or not? Because I genuinely couldn't tell when I was watching this episode.
Impossible to know.
He does. He's from New Zealand.
He's from New Zealand. Got it. Cool. I'm not going to do that accent.
Is that going to change what you do next?
Absolutely not. Oh, crikey. No, that's just... I'm not doing it. Oi, witcha.
This is getting problematic.
Recycling and socialized medicine.
Todd saved us. We're good now.
I got it, everyone.
Great job finding this abandoned amusement park. You got those old mine carts moving out of that sketchy shack, and those of you who are able to shake off the skeleton pursuers, I'm happy to say, will be moving on to the next round. The teams high five and start hugging. Phil, meanwhile, is inexplicably holding a small human skull. Now, you may be wondering why I'm holding this human skull. No, it's not a reference to the skull-shaped minecarts you just rode down that broken track like a roller coaster death trap. Phil clears his throat. To be or not to be? That is the question for your next clue. And then we see everybody make a mad dash to an area right behind Phil, revealing a wooden post that is in front of 2 branching paths. There are a series of clue cards, and this is the extent to which I know the amazing journey. That point
The
one,
awesome journey. Thank you.
the fantastic Bill and Ted's Fantastic Journey.
Yeah.
There are a series of these clue cards that point to the left and then to the right. We see some of the teams, a few of the first teams head toward the left, and they read, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the stings and arrows of outrageous golden fortune, and then the rest of the teams to the right, or to take arms against a sea of bramble, and by launching yourself out of a bunch of floating explosive barrels, end them. So we hear the narrator say, our teams will need to navigate their way out of crazy Kremland, either by taking the shorter way through the deadly Hornet Hole, a golden paradise filled with flowing honey and rife with killer bees, each the size of a small horse. They'll need to brave this shortcut by scrambling up the steep vertical climbs and using the sticky honey as fleeting footholds, all while avoiding the deadly poisonous sting of the angry zingers defending their home from invaders. Those who choose the longer, less bee-filled route will feel much less claustrophobic. That is until they realize the only way to cross the deep thicket of bramble is by stuffing themselves in explosive barrels that will shoot them across the jagged cliffside. All the, reality noise.
Right.
The idea of being given 2 choices and one of them is described as less bee-filled is wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bee-filled because there are certainly bees floating around them brambles, but it is less bee-filled.
There are fewer bees.
Yep.
That's got, man, what was that fucking show that Joe Rogan hosted?
Fear Factor.
Fear. That's real fear factor of like,
Fear Factor.
You can either go home and quit or go through the hallway filled with bees.
You can run through the bee hallway.
Oh, actually, hold on. I'm getting word from the DT exec suite. We can't talk anymore about Fear Factor because we're going to do that later.
Okay, got it. I do want to just make a quick comment about how in the world of Donkey Kong Country 2, there is an entire section of that island that is just a big fucking hornet's nest, and there are 3 levels where you just jump through this hornet's nest level, and there are so many bees. There are so many bees. They're the only enemy in the level, and then there are 5x that number of bees in the background. It's really cool, like artistically, but also like a nightmare.
A lot of bees.
There's a lot of bees. There's a lot of hornets to be
And to be
precise.
clear, that's
be
where you're
specific.
suggesting we send the contestants on the awesome journey to.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's $1 million, Matt.
I mean, it is $1 million. Well, pre-tax. It is $1 million pre-tax.
Right.
So let's be clear. All right, Kyle. Moving on to you. Talk to me about the detour options of the Kanto and Johto legs of the awesome journey.
Yes, Matt. So the big dual choice detour option is going to come after our contestants catch the train from Saffron City to Goldenrod City. They will be greeted with clues directing them one of two directions. The first set of clues, if they follow them correctly, will send them south to Azalea Town, where they will wrap around up to Violet City and work their way that way to Indigo Plateau. The second set of clues will send them north to Ekritique City and the Lake of Rage, where they will then proceed to Indigo Plateau.
The Lake of Rage, it definitely already is an amazing race.
Right.
An amazing race stop, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the players choose the route that sends them towards the Lake of Rage, they chose the bad route. They will have the more difficult challenge there of capturing a red Gyarados and quelling the eternal storm that it has caused there. But if players go south to Azalea Town, they will be able to pick up some apricots on the way and get some custom Pokeballs made in town for them,
That's marginally different.
which will help
Yeah.
them on their journey.
Wait, that doesn't sound so much like a challenge, that second one.
Well, you gotta get the apricorns on the way, or that's the challenge. If you show up empty-handed, you have to double back and go get them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's super legit. We do a lot of those in the Amazing Race,
Yeah.
where it's a
Yeah.
very easy thing that you only need to see one time that no one can see. It's
Yeah.
awesome. We do that all the time. Great. Yeah, okay, I'm in. You have really nailed the Amazing Race detour feel that we were looking for, where one challenge is find a single thing one time, and the other one is quell an eternal storm with your squishy body.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. All right, Todd, moving on, finish up this section of your pitch and let us know what the detour options in our normal world, but with pipe systems and
Yeah.
a monarchy.
Okay, yeah, you get it.
To be clear, an Antarctic monarchy. An Antarctic monarchy.
Antarctic.
Do it. Wait, I'll stop talking so we can get it clean.
Antarctic.
Got it in one.
Like Antarctica? What are we doing right now?
That's where Bowser's Castle is.
Bowser's
or at least
Castle
one of them.
is in Antarctica.
Shit, I forgot about
making
that.
Antarctica
Yeah.
and Antarctic.
It gets better the more you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antarctic monarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got this, Matt. So thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the wordplay, Kyle. Matt, so we take the bags off the heads of the contestants, or however an episode starts. I don't honestly know. And here they find themselves in the Irish Whiskey Museum in Dublin, Ireland. That's where we're starting this one. Their goal is, or at least Fantasy Dublin, Ireland, their goal
Sure.
is that they must locate the rare century-old bottle of double oaked whiskey in the sprawling museum before they can proceed forward. That's their kind of go fetch quest. Now, they do end up finding two different options to locate this bottle. Contestants are given the option that they can either hand clean the interior of a charred finishing barrel, or they can accurately match a dozen different whiskeys in a tasting. However, with the tasting, they have to retaste the whiskey each time they guess
Good.
All right.
in order to get the bottle. So contestants, if they clean the bottle, hard manual labor, they get no special dialogue when they show up to Phil. Phil's like, "Congrats, you did it. You cool. Get out of here. That's bad TV." However, choosing the tasting option, contestants just arrive heavily sloshed, are greeted by Phil saying, "Here you go. You may be disheveled, but I've kept this clue nice and neat."
Okay. That's funny.
All right.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I like your event. It's very clever, but
thanks.
I'm really struggling. are you referencing Mario is Missing, or did you just make like just a fun ass
whiskey?
You just made an amazing race.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna save all the Mario is Missing talk till the post show, but here we go into it real quick. So first off, Dublin, Ireland is a location of Mario is Missing here in this fantasy world, and in
game Mario gets hammered in Dublin, Ireland.
He does get sloshed. No, the whole bullshit
but
in Mario is Missing is you show up to a location like Dublin, Ireland, you come out of a pipe. You can't go back into the pipe for reasons I'll get into later. And you cannot leave until you find a bunch of stupid clues and then talk to museum curators who quiz you. And then you talk to Princess Peach, or a woman who looks like Princess Peach.
It's not Princess Peach.
It's just different enough to no one be sued Princess Peach, and answer a bunch of questions, and then you can leave. So like the concept of you got to find some shit and do some things to move on isn't that far off. I did take the creative liberty of cleaning the charred finishing barrel and also getting drunk at a whiskey tasting.
Got it.
All right.
Otherwise, it would just be straight up Mario is Missing, and I wanted to give you some more fantasy today. That's what Matt asked for, and that's what I wanted to bring.
Straight up Mario is Missing, and also just like straight up Dublin, Ireland. Like it's just.
But
if you don't have a real imagination behind those eyes, then maybe that's how you see things.
You've lost all sense of wonder in this world.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will put an order in to get some more wonder. And in the meantime, I'd like to move on to my final question of the day, which is, now that we've got the idea for the detours, we need to wrap out these concepts for a roadblock. Somebody just put a picture in, and I can't see what I was reading anymore.
It's Yoshi. It's Yoshi in Rio de Janeiro.
What you can't see is if you follow the path that's down at the tip of South America, that takes you to Antarctica. Bowser's castle is just off screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Anyway, look, we got to do a roadblock. We need a roadblock. A roadblock is a challenge that only one team member can perform. Something. That's what Phil says every episode. What mundanely punishing task must one member of each team face, and how will it represent the rich history of your chosen location? Andrew, we'll start with you.
So we return. Here's some more directorial notes. We return from commercial break. Our shot opens on a dark forest covered in a thick fog. Out explode 3 pairs of 2, all running and screaming and shitting and pissing concurrently. Here's Phil standing at the edge of the forest. Teams, you made it through the ghostly grove, and you're all now standing at the foot of Captain K. Rool's castle. But there's one problem. We've just got word that K. Rool isn't there. What's worse is he doesn't seem to be anywhere on the established map of Crocodile Isle. But there is one person who knows where he might be hiding. But you're going to need to pay his toll. Phil holds up a golden coin, and the camera zooms in. And he goes, "This is a creme coin. Some of you may have seen them throughout your travels. You may have even picked up one or two. There are 75 of these creme coins hidden throughout all of Crocodile Isle.
No.
You're gonna need to hand every last one over to Clubba, and he points over to a very large crocodile at a toll booth swinging a spiked bat, and he says, Clubba, the jacked Kremlin guarding the toll booth to the Lost World, hidden deep within the depths of the island. And it's there, in the center of the geothermal vent that powers the whole island, you'll find Captain K. Rool in his secret laboratory inventing all kinds of colored magical lead balls for his blunderbuss. Because in DKC2, the secret ending, if you get all the bonus barrels, you get a bonus coin, then you hand them to Clubba, and that unlocks the Lost World, which is the secret world, right? Because it's a platform game, we need secret world.
Yep.
And if you beat all the levels of the secret world, you get the secret boss fight with Captain K. Rool, in which he is doing kind of weird science but in an undersea sub, and he has magical blunderbuss shots, and it's a fun fight. So there's not a lot of depth here. The only sense of place that the game implies that the Lost World is what's in X-Men, the dinosaur island. It's kind of like that.
Krakoa?
The Savage
Krakoa,
Lands.
the Savage
Lands. Thank you.
It's the Savage Lands. See also the dinosaur world in Earthbound, where it's this deep underground forgotten world, yada yada yada. But in the middle is this geothermal vent that it looks like it's the center of the volcano within the bigger volcano of the island. So when you beat K. Rool in the Lost World, I think he either like overloads or like you kick him into. I think that's it. Donkey Kong uppercuts him. That's it. Donkey Kong shows up and he uppercuts him and he punches him, and K. Rool falls into the geothermic vent, and then it explodes and the whole island explodes. But it's fine because you guys watch from a safe distance from their home on DK Isle. Anyway, man, DK Seek 2 is a good game. That's it. That's what I have.
What I loved most about this answer is that partway through, Andrew got so excited about a better idea in the ending and couldn't stop himself from yelling and doing the motions of an uppercut on this audio form podcast.
Yeah, that's true. He did do that.
Yeah, I did do that.
He did do that.
All right, Kyle, fill us in on the Pokemon roadblocks, please.
Yes, Matt. So our roadblock is going to be an obstacle for the contestants catching the train from Saffron City to Goldenrod City, in that every entrance to Saffron City is going to be blocked by a Snorlax, a sleeping Snorlax. So contestants will have to procure a Pokeflute, rich ties to the cultural history of the continent, play a song.
You can't just say that.
I mean, it's kind of true, though.
I don't think it's a stretch to say a Pokeflute, an instrument only found in the Pokemon world, is a rich cultural tie to Kanto. I don't think that's a stretch.
Okay.
Players will have to then play a song to wake the Snorlax from its slumber and battle it to get it to move out of the way so they can enter Saffron City and catch their train to Goldenrod City.
All right. I mean, honestly, like, that's pretty much a roadblock. Like that, you top to bottom.
Literally a roadblock.
It literally is a roadblock.
Holy shit, man. Oh my God. All right. Well, Kyle, look, I don't want to pick favorites this early in the episode, but
yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty baller.
We got 2 answers for me to throw it all away. Don't worry.
All right. Todd, you are the last one. Pitch a roadblock to us and let me know where it's going to be in the real ass human world in which we live.
Yeah. Well, again, this world has large green warp pipes, and ours doesn't.
And a giant fire-breathing turtle.
And a giant fire-breathing turtle. Thank you, Kyle.
That is the king of Antarctica.
He is the king of Antarctica.
The king of Antarctica.
Put some respect in your chest.
His Majesty.
Contestants have, at this point, successfully ventured all around whatever stupid-ass city they've been put in that is everywhere on Earth, finding clues that often those clues are hidden inside the hollowed-out shells of child-sized turtles. You gotta smash them to get the clues. That's a thing in this world. Anyway, at one point they do find the clue that says, search for your large green ride, your vehicle home. And they kind of take off, and eventually they do find a large green warp pipe. So as these eager, downtrodden, filing for divorce couples are approaching this this large green warp pipe, a 10-foot tall anthropomorphic cactus rises up out of the warp pipe with a yellow envelope stuck to the highest quill of the cactus. Now, this sucks, and that's unfortunate for them to deal with, but patient and dexterous adventurers who do manage to climb up the cacti and grab the envelope that's stuck to its highest quill will be treated to a clue that says, we were talking about the Yoshi in the alley next to you. Because, as we've seen on all these challenges, if people just take 2 seconds just to like pause and think about it, see, the clever contestants would have actually taken a minute and looked to their left, and they would have seen a Yoshi. Just a Yoshi, not 30 feet away, just vibing. And once you climb on top of that Yoshi, he just eats the pokey cactus, and it gives you access to the warp pipe, and you can leave.
If there is one thing that I think we've all done a great job of in this episode, it is understanding what makes CBS's The Amazing Race the Amazing Race. Because I know that you all watched one episode, you very clearly get it. Todd, that's an excellent description of most episodes of The Amazing Race.
Are you talking about the Superb Expedition?
Yes, the awesome journey. Well, that's what we're doing. I can call it The Amazing Race if I'm talking about the show. What we're doing is called The Awesome Journey, which is different than season 40 of The Amazing Race.
I think you're talking about The Astounding Relay, Matt.
The Exceptional Voyage.
All right, we're going to do this. I'm in on this bit. Okay. Now, before we call it a show, I just got off the phone with Phil, and Phil was like, look, if you're going to pick the next leg location, it is important to me that you think ahead and introduce me, Phil Keoghan, host of The Amazing Race and now The Awesome Journey, introduce me to the local celebrity that I will spend 12 to 14 hours standing beside, waiting for teams to check in on the mat for the pit stops. So, guys, before we wrap this episode up, I would love to know what local celebrity will stand next to Phil at the pit stop and say, welcome to your chosen video game world whenever teams show up. I will take your answers right after this. All right, welcome back. It is time for you to fill us in so that we can then turn around and fill in on who the local celebrity will be standing next to him at the mat waiting for teams to check in on Legally Distinct from The Amazing Race. Andrew, go ahead and give us your celebrity.
Yeah, I think there's only one right answer here because, at least for my thing, because this whole Wondrous Expedition has been about finding Donkey Kong, right? We are rescuing Donkey Kong. That is the whole goal of DKC2. Therefore, it is the whole goal of this fantastic voyage. I think that's copyrighted. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Therefore, who better to be Donkey Kong than Donkey Kong? So the players come in, and there he is, the voice of Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen himself. Phil Keoghan and Seth Rogen, best buds. Best buds for years. It's pretty good. Best buds for years. I'll do you one better, because from the one episode of Amazing Race that I've seen, the show seems to be very fond of hiring actors to play bit parts. So I like to think that Phil hired an actor to just play a very sweaty K. Rool, because again, it's just like a man. It's just a sweaty man playing a very sweaty crocodile. And we're gonna have Seth Rogen uppercut that sweaty man.
Good.
For whoever wins, because that's what I think we all need in this world.
I was honestly really ready for you to say that the celebrity was Donkey Kong, the person that the country was named after, because like I could see having a reenactment of Americo Vespucci on The Amazing Race as a thing that they would do. So
I did not know Seth Rogen was local to Donkey Kong Country. I didn't know he was an expat.
It's true, yeah.
He's got dual citizenship. Dual citizenship. A lot of people
They
don't
gave him the
realize
key to
it.
the city after the movie.
That's
so.
correct.
Gotcha.
Well, it's
Gotcha.
the King
the country.
Banana Slamma to the Bananarama throne.
Fucking sucks.
That's
The crystal coconut.
I second what Todd said.
It had been a long time, but not long enough since I had heard Banana Slamma.
It's true. All right, Kyle, tell us about who is standing on the mat in the Kanto Johto regions.
Yeah, Matt. So we actually did get a local celebrity standing next to Phil at every stop. Will be the first ever winner of the Pokemon League. I am, of course, talking about the champion Red. However, Red, famously stoic, a strong silent type, will not be greeting players with "Welcome to our world." When Phil kicks it over to them, though, contestants weirdly will understand that he spoke to them an ellipsis. We don't know how he does it, but he communicates solely in ellipses. And really, that's why we got him, because it kills every time.
Kyle, I have a very important question.
Yes.
When they do the confessional, when they do the interview of Red and Blue together, will Red and Blue's shared subtitle be best friends?
Indeed it will, Andrew.
Good.
Excellent. All right, Todd, round us out. Who is standing on the mat with Phil in, again, just the real last world?
Well, it's not though, and I've made that pretty clear. In the Paris, France episode, fake Paris, France episode, contestants have started in Louvre, scaled the Eiffel Tower, and frantic.
Nope.
Louvre.
Have you never heard?
Do you want to?
I put the R in there, and I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Don't
Do you
want to correct? No, he has to
Do you
live
want
with
to?
that
Do you want to?
sin.
You want to get one clean? You want to get one clean so everybody knows you know how to say the Louvre.
I do, actually, because I hastily went through it. Contestants have started in the Louvre.
Leave all of this in.
Oh,
Don't
I will.
do it,
I will
man.
for
Why
sure.
would you do this to me?
Everyone's
My
gonna know
friends,
you
wait.
said the Louvre.
The Louvre. I pronounce Louvre like strong bad or like Homestar Runner.
He's the Louvre.
pronouncing-
He speaks for the art.
Let me get this right. I pronounced the Louvre like Coach Z saying job in the Homestar Runner episode. Anyway, not important. Scaled the Eiffel Tower and frantically ran past Versailles. Oh my fuck. Versailles. My God, you can't write out words.
For sales. Like
For
the-
sales.
Like, yeah, like the high school here in Ohio.
Like
For
the high
sales.
school here in Ohio, which
Yeah.
is my defense. Oh my God.
Set Versailles for the Louvre.
Anyway, these idiots on the show ignore all the beauty of those famous iconic places that everyone can pronounce correctly the first time because there's just no time. There's no time for them to be thinking about that. They ultimately end their journey by running up to Phil at the pit stop where they're greeted by this deep baritone voice saying, "Welcome to Paris, France. The imaginary location from Mario is missing." And of course, this is none other than the 3-time Olympic handball champion, Paris's own Nicola Karabatic, the greatest handball player to ever live and contender for, say it with me, the 4th gold in this summer's 2024 Paris Olympics.
This very real person from very real human history in the Mario world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely not our
Yeah.
our world.
No, these are, well, so here's where you guys are wrong. I
Okay.
pronounced the Mario World versions of these names
Oh, that's-
correctly the
oh,
first
yeah.
time.
Oh, that's
and
how
then
they're
you guys
pronounced.
made me second.
That's
Thank
you know what?
And
That's
this
on
is
us. The Mario Louvre is actually the lore.
The lore.
The Lord.
I felt the R come out of my body, and I couldn't bring it
Bring
back.
it back in.
Couldn't grab it.
And here's the shit. So when I typed these notes out earlier, I was like, do I need to type this out phonetically? I'm like, nah, I'll get it.
No, I know the Louvre.
Okay, I
Yeah,
knew the
I know
Louvre.
Louvre.
What idiot?
I have an important question about Paris in the Mario is Missing world that is distinctly different than ours and has the similar landmarks, but they're different because they're pronounced
They're
horribly.
pronounced different.
Is the Eiffel Tower made out of warp pipes?
Ooh,
That's the Eiffel Tower to you, bud.
the giant Eiffel.
The Eiffel.
It's spelled EIFFLE.
Pronounced Ifle.
Yeah, you know what it is. It is. It is.
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
I think I really feel like I just want to clear it up. This can't be our world unless you also have to deal with 10-foot tall smiling cacti just to go through the regular transit of your day-to-day activities, which I'll remind you is a green warp pipe, Matt.
Well, you don't know that I don't.
Have you been to Colorado, Todd? We've got some crazy plant life out here.
It's fair. I thought you were going to say public transit's wild now.
All right. Well, I really love this. I think this is a great pitch. I think this is, in fact, 3 great pitches, and I am excited to take this back to the reality TV wing of the DT Exec Suite. Now, in the meantime, if you guys could just give me like a closing statement, just a nice little wrap up that I can lead with in the next room over, finish up your pitch for us, and I will go make a decision. Andrew, we'll start with you.
It's the best Donkey Kong game unanimously agreed upon. Therefore, it's the best world. Therefore, the best episode of an incredible saga. Nailed it.
I'll leave it up to the execs to determine whether or not you did. Kyle, go ahead.
Matt, our contestants in season 40 of The Radical Relay will be competing
That's just a Sonic level.
to be the very best, like no one ever was. To race
Okay.
them is their real test, and to win is their cause.
Good. You know what? I think that that's a fair thing that you were entitled to say because you did a Pokemon thing. So
I
good
was
job.
legally required to do it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And Todd, wrap us up.
Yeah, you asked me to create an edutainment game that combines the terrific migration with an existing Mario property, and that's what I brought here today.
That's not even close to what we asked you to do. Okay, well, I'm going to go talk to the execs. We're going to come up with a game plan, and I'll be back to report on that. But in the meantime, why don't you give each other some good vibes?
I'm sorry, but I'm still laughing at
I too hate what I did.
I know.
It's like if you are on a trampoline and you jump really high and you're like,
Yeah.
well, if I start flipping, am I going to land on this flip? Oh, I've already started flipping. I sure hope I land this flip. And I just didn't.
I think your out, Todd, would have been committing to your bad pronunciation and not falling back to the right one.
You know what?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna bring it back. I think your answer was really good, Todd. And I know we gave you shit for like coming from doing like something in like the real ass world, only because like I thought of 5 other things and then like had the same thing. I was like, well, that's just the real world. That's just the regular Amazing Race. But of all of the options of things that just take place in our world, I think this is my favorite because of the like very like mirror dimension surrealness of the version of our world that is this. And I posted a picture of the like very slapdash world map that Yoshi's kind of walking on, which looks nothing like just like a child's representation of a map of the world. This is a very good answer.
If I didn't know Mario is Missing existed and you showed me this image, I would assume it was like
fake
fan art.
It's
it's
absolutely
I recreated the world map, Mario style. Like,
looks like a mod.
Yeah, looks like a mod.
Well, when I remember playing this game and I was like, oh yeah, it is reused Super Mario World assets. And then I watched some playthrough today. I'm like, oh, I didn't remember the world map.
Yeah,
the world map that's just Mario World.
Well,
map.
and like the Super Nintendo one did, the SNES one, and the NES one, and the DOS one looks like dog balls because it doesn't. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we can talk about that more at the post show. I have a lot of fond memories of this game because I played it when I was really young, and I think you represented it very well. And it is just a piece of shit. An absolute piece of shit. Kyle, you did Pokemon. You always do Pokemon very well. You don't need me to say you did Pokemon really well. But what I will say is I liked the spin on this one. And of all of again, this is very much like, this is a good answer. This is a good answer because the Pokemon world is a very like rich like sense of place in a way that a lot of other video game worlds aren't. Because it's not a series of levels. Like you get the overall map and it's all connected. So you have a very like good understanding of like I could walk from point A to point Z of Kanto in my sleep like easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, great job both of you.
Thank you. Andrew, Donkey Kong Country is a very good choice for this. There aren't a ton of like named distinct continents that aren't just are.
The DK had one.
But DK had one, and you did a very good spin on it. And Todd, you reminded us all that Mario is Missing exists, and like Andrew said, of the like video game versions of our world, this was a very good one to pick for the reason of, like Andrew said, like that Mario-ized version of it is different enough, and Mario does have its very unique ways of travel, which I think make an Amazing Race set there more interesting than it's Rio de Janeiro, but Bowser's king in Antarctica too. Like having Yoshi's and warp pipes and the Tanuki suit is a very good spin on our real world for this.
Makes it legally distinct.
That and its pronunciation of famous Parisian landmarks.
Louvre. Yeah. Listening to you talk about Donkey Kong Country 2 is just a reminder that's the one I didn't play. I did have the Game Boy version of it.
Okay.
But I didn't have the SNES version of it.
Yeah.
Introduced the helicopter twirl.
That's right.
The best thing to ever happen in a Donkey Kong game. Second only to, with second place being Kiddy Kong, who could barrel roll off of water.
Yeah.
A modern day Jesus Kong. So I appreciate you walking us down this weird pirate themed Amazing Race adventure with Seth Rogen throwing uppercuts at a temp in a suit. Kyle, you talking about Pokemon just reminds me that, like, we probably don't talk about Pokemon enough. What an infinitely deep
Which is
well.
insane, because
I know. There's
I feel
so
like
much
I talk
there.
about it every third episode.
There's so much there, and as you're talking, I'm like, I don't know what region this is, but it sounds great. People are riding up in Lapras. That's pretty cool.
It's a good time. Could be fun.
And it, like, that feels reality show like. They would show up in some really weird vehicle as the intro is talking about the relationship between two friends or coworkers or mother and daughter separated at birth who just reunited for this show and are talking for the third time now in this car with a camera.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I'm so glad I got to turn you all on to The Amazing Race. This is
It's really good.
It's just like
It's really good.
Listen, okay, time out. They took that moment of a mother and daughter separated at birth, crammed it in the same episode as woman gets concussed by watermelon with no delicate approach to either.
That episode, no pun intended, is absolute whiplash. Because meanwhile, all of this is happening, we haven't even talked about Chad and Stephanie,
Nope.
No.
Oh, yeah.
who at the time were newly dating, but are most certainly no longer dating. There's no way that they're dating. Anyway,
I want a whole section of the post show is just Chad and Stephanie.
All right. Well, we'll get to the post show here in a minute. Before we do, let me come back and give you the decision. So, a couple of things to start with. Todd, bad news. We were looking for exotic locations. You gave us the same locations. Now,
right.
I do appreciate that there is a uniqueness to the pronunciation of things in your world. I think that's cool. I am afraid, and the execs are afraid, it won't translate well on television. So we are going to have to pass on the Mario is Missing epic journey that we were hoping to go on. That leaves me, of course, with Donkey Kong Country or the Kanto Johto reason. And you know what? Unfortunately for you, Andrew, we're just afraid that the infrastructure to support The Amazing Race doesn't totally exist that close to a volcano or, you know, that deep in the jungle. So we are going to go ahead and go with the Kanto and Johto legs of The Amazing Race. Kyle, your Pokemon-themed pitch is very, very good, and we're very excited about it. We may have to work out the detours a little bit, you know, when one option is Find Thing and the other option is Rage Lake. There might be a little bit of a disparity there, but we'll be able to figure it out.
Nah.
All right, and that is going to do it for us here today. So thank you so much for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. Merch, we have that. Right now, you can go on the internet and order things that say Debate This on them. All you need to do is head to our Redbubble page and give us your money. Does our Redbubble page have a cool and easy URL for us to read in an audio ad? Good news, it does now. You can find all of our merch by heading to merchthis.net. And I know somebody out there bought something from us this week because I got the notification about it and I texted all the guys and was like, hey, who bought something? And it wasn't none of us. So thanks to whoever bought our merch, and please continue to buy more of us.
We promise we won't DOS you if you buy stuff from us.
At merchthis.net. Until next time, I'm Matt Cole.
I'm Andrew. 2013 smash hit Royals by Louvre Henderson.
I'm Kyle, the tantalizing time trial Harper.
And I'm Todd. It all began with the forging of the great seasons. 25 were given to the Big Brother, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all shows. 46 to the Survivor Lords, great miners and craftsmen of the non-resort side of the island. And 36 seasons were gifted to the Race of Amazing, who above all else desired $1 million pre-tax, Thomas.
Holy shit! And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.